goddesses that dwell inside you. These are cosmic goddesses. The divine feminine dwells at your core as who you are deep down. And who you are deep down, according to the non-dual teachings of the goddess tradition from India, you are that goddess. You simply have, with the march of time and society's messages of powerlessness, hopelessness, you know, and not being important or not being relevant, we slowly forget that. But you ask any two-year-old who has a relatively happy household or upbringing, or boy or girl, and they have no doubt that they are the ultimate beings, you see. So we have that memory. And hypothetically, if a human child was brought up with the knowledge that I'm about to share with you from their beginning, if they were never allowed to forget that they are goddess, they have deep, they have power, they would behave in a completely different manner. And probably some of those messages I was fortunate to receive growing up in a wisdom school and family in India. And despite society's messages were equally strong, but the messages that I had received from my original family, a progressive family, but a deeply traditional family, believers of the divine feminine, Devi Durga, Devi Lakshmi, Devi Saraswati, we were somehow always, my teacher's teaching to me was, find the goddess within you. Well, ask the goddess within you. Well, what does the goddess want to do within you? And probably that's when life threw curveballs at me. And they were, when people collect together and want to, individually or in groups, want to hack at your power, question it, or pollute it, or delegitimize it, right? This is what happens in everybody's lives, right? You go to a corporate work, or you go to anything, you know, you go to a PTA meeting, and there'll be some people like, you know, looking at you and saying, why are you powerful? Let's bring you down. But there was always this goddess permission, goddess message, and goddess knowledge, goddess skills. I knew which goddess I have to activate, and my responses always came back from a different level of spiritual power known as Shakti. If you have missed my prior teaching, you might want to find my video, which I taught just before this, where I've explained the meta concept of Shakti, or the Divine Mother, and how she comes to us as Durga, who gives us power, Lakshmi, who blesses us with abundance and the capacity to be abundant, and then Saraswati, who gives us the power and potential to be wise, knowledgeable, self-actualized, and self-realized. Now I'm going to talk to you in this video about 9 powers that are lying latent within you. They are as if covered with some dust. It's a game. It's called a divine game. It's Mother's Leela. And you, through knowledge that you are receiving, first become aware of them, and then you call upon them. You remember that you have that power. That's the beauty of it. So I'll give you an example of remembering. Say your parent had taught you some skill long ago when you were a child, and now you've forgotten that skill, okay? Like tying a rope and hanging from a cliff. Maybe you learned that at age 7 or 8. And then you forgot about it, and life went on. And then at age 60, you're in an emergency situation. And in that emergency situation, you will actually recall that learning. And it's like, and then you'll surprise yourself, I knew this? Oh my God, I did it? Woo. Now, in between, you had what's called as a consciousness amnesia. You'd forgotten. So in the same way, we have consciousness amnesia, where we've forgotten our divinity, our core of divine feminine, our Shakti, our power. So let us discuss one by one these Devis. The first Devi, I call her the mountain goddess. She is known as, Devi means goddess, Devi Shailputri. Devi Shailputri dwells in your root chakra. We all have 7 chakras, and each chakra is like a vortex. It's a whirling vortex. But it's not a small thing that adjusts in your body. It's as big as this universe, the chakra. Your body is adjusting around it. Please understand. So it's a huge thing. And this chakra, this is where this goddess lives. And she makes your body strong. She makes your mind strong. She makes you resolute. She makes you determined. She gives you stamina. And she just gives you sheer perseverance. But this is not stamina and perseverance that is taught in the modern world of achievement, where you're stressing out and dying of cardiac failures because you wouldn't give up and you were clenching your teeth and you got TMJ. I'm not talking about that kind of perseverance. I'm talking about you become the mountain goddess. Mythology has it that she lived in the mountains and she found, she became enlightened. The part I like about Devi Shailputri is she's not a goddess, as in she's not a non-human character. Devi Shailputri is a human character who becomes a goddess in her lifetime. So she's like you and me. And what she had was courage. What she wouldn't give up, no matter how much life threw afflictions at her. She would not, stop until she achieved her goal. And then once she recognized her inner goddess, she became the Divine Mother. Don't you love it? Do you love it? Do you love that the Devi matrix begins with a simple girl from the mountains? Albeit she was a princess of the Himalayan kingdom, but her dad was not super cooperative. Sounds familiar? He just wanted her to have an arranged marriage to some comfortable, and boring prince and, have a life. Some life that would be. You can be married to that same prince and not find them boring if that's what you wanted to do. Arranged marriage works if that's what you want. She didn't want that. She wanted to know divinity, truth, reality. So she took off to the mountains in spite of her parents lamenting. And they accompanied her till some point, and then she said they didn't even have the stamina to go further. The cold was biting them, the wild animals were scaring them. She did it. She lived alone there. And what does that mean? Living on a peak of a mountain alone means living your own life the way you choose to do on the peak of your own being, in your inner esteem, no matter if there is anybody else there cheerleading you or not. That's what it means. Do you have the stamina to walk your path alone? I feel that in the realm of Vedanta, where I'm a householder teacher and I bring Vedanta out of its remote and esoteric text, non-dual teachings of India into daily life, how I teach Ayurveda, not just as an antiseptic, pop quiz balancing the doshas, but as a huge revolution of spiritual Ayurveda, where mind and spirit are as important as the doshas in the body. And teachings of yoga, where it goes way beyond the body into becoming tools for self-ascension, actualization. I feel I'm carving a lonely path. It's even different from the way my own guru taught it. But then I remember Shailputri. In great honor to my guru, I say to my guru, thank you for showing me the mountain. Now I'm going to walk on it. I'll sit there alone. If my students join me, that's good. When they leave me, I'm still there. I don't leave my peak. When you are ready to follow what you believe in, and one of them is that you may be a spiritual seeker amidst family members who are not. You may be somebody who values spirituality. You have to believe in it. You may value the environment. You have to believe in it. You may value taking care of the aged, even if they didn't take care of you when you were young. You believe in what you believe in because those are your values. Shailputri is the teacher of how to be resolute, how to be strong, how to have strength. May you channel her in your first chakra. Do not be afraid of her. First chakra not only gives us physical health, ojas or immunity, vitality or bala, but it also gives us what is known as mental strength, perseverance. This is known as, Shakti, power, manobal, mind, the bala, the strength of the mind that comes from Devi Shailputri. May you remember her, and when you're remembering her, may you focus on your first chakra. And for imagery, you can imagine yourself sitting on the peak of a mountain, totally believing in yourself, and that whole mountain is nothing but mother, divine mother, because I mentioned earlier that earth is divine mother and the mountain is her bosom. You're sitting on your own mother's bosom. You're like a little baby. There's nothing more safe and protected for you when you're a little baby than on your mother's bosom. That was the safest place for myself too in this avatar. And when you're there, you can be yourself. So when you're walking into a corporate room, you're walking into a job interview, you're about to go and talk to somebody in a relationship and say what's okay and what's not okay, you be your inner Shailputri. You go either holding her hand or you be her. It's either way. When you hold her hand, you're in the duality paradigm. When you are her, you are the non-dual paradigm. It's up to you, whatever works for you. Now let me talk about the Devi, Divine Mother, her who now has progressed to your second chakra. And her name is Brahmacharini, Devi Brahmacharini. Devi Brahmacharini is all about spiritual disciplines. What are spiritual disciplines? They are known as tapas or sadhana. Spiritual discipline, tapas or sadhana, is taken up voluntarily. This is not imposed upon us. We may choose to be more silent at a certain time of the day. Some of us in my wisdom school choose to eat a certain kind of diet in certain seasons. Like spring season, we go on a detox diet in my Ayurveda school. In fall, we go on a pitta balancing diet. We eat sattvic diet to purify our mind. Some different times we follow food routines. Then we follow values. So we have certain values. So like non-conceit, or ahimsa, or compassion, or Acharya where we look up to the tradition. So therefore we have our own disciplines. And a Brahmacharini Devi will help strengthen you in your disciplines. So it's almost like you're on your mountain, and now what do? Do you watch TV there on your mountain? Do you watch other people's success stories? Or do you want to be your own success? I'm not just talking in the worldly sense. I'm talking in the every sense. Because watching TV is like, a waste of time and energy. You can watch some TV, and don't frown if you find me watching TV. I'm not teaching you to live in a bubble. I'm just saying, where does a bulk of your energy go? Or do you take time in honing yourself? Do you take a walk every day? Do you, for example, say you are studying Ayurveda with me, do you take out the time to study and then practice what I'm teaching you? Make those recipes, make those masalas, make those teas, and meditate the way I teach you, chant the way I teach you for optimum health. So whatever you want to achieve, arogyam, health, fame, yasha, shanti, peace, prema, love, whatever you want to achieve in life, it requires a honed being and consciousness within you. And Devi Brahmachari does that, because that is what Devi Shailputri did. She did for thousands of years. In India, it's an ancient culture, so we begin with the year 1000. We don't begin with 1 year, 2 year. We go, 1,000 years. They loved each other for 1,000 years. They meditated for 1,000 years. 1,000 is like a baby number for an ancient civilization. Okay, so allow me to throw in a couple of thousands and million years. Why not go for million? So she meditated for millions of years. But the point is, she had strength, and then she chose to recreate herself, to curate the best part of herself, to bring out the best version of herself through food disciplines, sleep disciplines, seasonal ritucharya disciplines, mantra disciplines, meditation disciplines, speech disciplines, yoga asana disciplines, breathing disciplines, worship disciplines, quietness disciplines. Who is disciplining who? The goddess within you is disciplining the little you. She's telling you. So when I can't sleep, I remember Brahmacharini and I say, may I sleep? It is time for me to sleep. So the goddess, the divine mother, becomes Devi Brahmacharini, who helps you create a whole paradigm shift in your daily life. In your daily life. This goddess does not have to be found in a temple. I know that a bulk of practitioners of the Devi teachings are happy just to go to the temple and sing to her. But the way I like to teach it is she in your bedroom? Is she in your kitchen? Is she in your yoga mat? Is she in your speech when you're having that difficult conversation with somebody? She is the one who's helping you restrain yourself to flow more here, flow less here, like a river. You know, if we all love a river, but when she crosses her boundaries, we fear her. And she creates havoc. A life-giving river becomes a havoc creator. In the same way, our own consciousness, when it is restrained with disciplines, when it is curated with these sadhanas, discipline is a harsh word in the Western vocabulary. Sadhana is a soft word. Sadhana is a word with flowers, with lamps, with candlelight, with incense. Sadhana has to do with something beautiful coming out of you, not something harsh being reprimanded. So Devi Brahmacharini teaches sadhana. She teaches tapasya. She teaches you how to hug you, hold you, and she teaches you how to be a goddess. She's in the second chakra. Second chakra, as you know, is all about relationships. So we want to engage in the world not like a brute force coming through, but a cultured, artistic, divine, decorated, blessed, magical, aromatic force coming through. Would you like to do that? The third goddess is Devi Chandraghanta. She's in your third chakra. Feel her presence there. Her body is actually made of fire. After you have done disciplines, you would develop a new kind of fire. This is not the fire called Pitta dosha. So don't worry, these goddesses can only benefit your doshas, never harm them. But this is the fire of Teja, or power and strength. Oh my God, one who has their sadhana under their belt, they become so strong. And she is fiery, and she is holding a trident and a spear, and she is riding a fierce lion, and she is not going to put up with any dark stuff. She's not going to put up with two-faced deception. She's not going to put up with, she's not going to put up with what is not serving truth, divinity, and what is trying to undo the magical mother's universe. So she destroys by the millions demons, but these demons are known as asuras, or evil tendencies within us. So when we meditated upon her, you not only digest food, but you digest all your poisons away. She's the best way to detox, by meditating on her. And she will remove all negative energies within you. So she's a very powerful one. And I often, when in my writings, I have mentioned to my students that, it needs darshan, stamina, because often when I meditate upon her, there's so much fire and light that I experience. It's like, whoa, my inner eyes feel blinded by her power. But here's the other part of her. She's on the whole very serene and quiet and peaceful. So she's very amenable, and she like hanging around with her lion, kind of just like relaxed in the garden of the universe, and every plant, every flower that's growing in the universe wants to put flowers on her and her lion. But when you get on the wrong side of her, that other side comes out. Now, to me, she reminds me of how I should be in the universe when my boundaries are trampled upon despite, repeated request, or when there is sheer unconsciousness coming my way, where the person has no sense of good or bad and they're just falling apart in you, or others are being hurt and I have the imperative and the privilege to protect them, then I bring out Devi Chandraghanta. Chandra is the soft side of her. Chandra means moon. And she's wearing a very moon, but that moon is very deceptive, You'll think, she's so pleasant and I'll just rest in her moonlight. And then I think I'll just fall unconscious and be silly. Well, then don't worry. You will hear a huge, ferocious ghanta, a bell, ringing through the whole universe. And it spooks the spooky people. When good people hear the ghanta, they go, oh, goddess is remembering me. But when you have some guilt and you're unconscious, it's like the bell of death and destruction. And then she comes charging and she destroys everything that's hurting you and protects you. So when I channel Chandraghanta, I'm a Chandraghanta. I am pleasant, not deceptive, genuinely pleasant. I am pleasant, I am friendly, I am easy, I'm amenable, and I give people 1,000 chances. 1,000 chances, but not 1,001. Then the ghanta, the other aspect of me comes out. And some of my students are sitting here who have seen all aspects of me, yes? Mm-hmm. And so it became so famous that I remember this one new disciple came to me and said, Shunya ji, may I request you something? And I said, yes, what do you want? Would you scold me, please? I said, it's a big privilege to be scolded by me. You have to do a lot of inner work and then I'll scold you. Because she doesn't scold for her ego. She doesn't scold. She's not angry because she's angry like us humans. When we're angry, you see, we are slaves of anger. She's the mistress of anger. She's the queen of anger. Anger is her slave. Anger is her bidding. Anger is her minister, her staff. She is above everything. So her anger is the restoration of dharma and righteousness. So when you feel attacked by people, when you feel betrayed by people, when you feel, you also want to evoke her, because sometimes we're also not in touch with our righteous anger. And we're clouded between what is right and wrong. She is never clouded. So when you meditate upon her, she will tell you what is right and what is wrong. For example, we have the same teaching in the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavad Gita, where a soldier called Arjuna was confused and he was not feeling his anger. Instead, he was feeling false compassion for the very people who had hurt him. And so then the same goddess, Durga, who as Krishna, because it's really one for us, Krishna then tells Arjuna, you should be feeling anger, not compassion. Because then anger becomes your guide. And then it tells you to instill boundaries or to step away or to do what is right. Anger does not mean screaming, shouting, venting. Anger is like, it comes, it guides you, and it changes the paradigm. And you're like, this is what I'll put up with, this is not what I'll put up with. So very occasionally in my life, very occasionally, I can count those times I have shown that side of me. But then that side changed everything in my life and filled me with light. And the people who I show that anger to down the road, they are also blessed. Because I never did it for small, petty reasons. It was to point out their darkness. And then they live with that, and over many lifetimes, that becomes the ultimate blessing for them. So you too can live like Chandraghanta. Jai Ma?
Jai Ma.
That's the good Jai Ma, Chandraghanta Jai Ma. Jai Ma means hail the mother. If you want, you can write to me Jai Ma, Jaimaa, or you can write hail the mother. I participate in this. There is so much Shakti. I am here at the bidding of Mother to talk to you today. Be present. Enjoy. Don't let your ego hold back thinking she's on that side of the screen talking to those people. There is no them and me. There is only one Divine Mother, and we are aspects of her. Then we move on. After all this heat and glory and corrections, we move and we need her. We need her power. Then we come to our fourth chakra. Here dwells, with a tinkling laughter, Mother Kushmanda. It is said that when Mother smiled, the Divine Mother of this universe smiled, this universe, an egg, a golden egg came out of her smile. She looked at it and laughed, and it burst. And then it has ever expanding universe since then. So I'm wondering if the Big Bang and the bursting of that first particle, all those teachings, they have been predated in the ancient Vedas. And I hope if you go back and read on the Big Bang, as well as on the theory of collapsing and emerging universes, the original scientists have given credit to the Vedas and Upanishads. They've actually borrowed this whole theory, which we call cutting edge modern quantum science, from the Upanishads and Vedas, of which I am a teacher. So her smile creates a universe. Wow! This means your happiness is connected to Genesis, to creativity. And hello to all the people who think the woman is a minor role. This whole universe came from a Devi, a goddess, and it came from laughter, not punishment. From a smile. And you might have noticed that when you smile, when you laugh, you become creative. Now I sat with this knowledge when I was in the dark phase of my life, and my mouth was always like this. I went through a phase of like, I just get up and I'm feeling this heaviness here. Mouth is like this. Then I remembered. But the good thing is, if you have a guru and you have knowledge, that knowledge is in the background, right? And my ego is trying to remember that, trying to forget I'm a goddess. And it's like, I'm just going to feel sorry for myself. I'm a victim. I'm heavy. I'm alone. And then I remembered that Devi Kushmanda had created a whole universe with a smile. So I went in front of the mirror, and instead of this, I did this. Then I did this. And now my face is always like this. I'm always smiling. I'm watering my plants. I'm like smiling. Smile more. Smile. Laugh. Smile more. That is what children do. We have forgotten to smile. We have forgotten to laugh. Just changing this makes a difference. And then, thanks to modern science and researchers, I found that when you smile, you change your brain chemicals. It's like, okay, we knew that. This is great. Thank you for confirming. And now you have laughter clubs, yoga laughter clubs, where people just laugh. Now there is laughing yoga. There is a laughing Buddha. And this Devi says to you, you got a problem? Okay, first smile. Smile, literally smile. Remember the Devi. And so igniting this Devi in your heart is through smiling, through laughing. Laugh away some sense of humor also in your difficulty. Laugh, ease. Not a nervous little, like as if, we need to pay the world a tax to smile. Let's smile. Ah, Devi, you are playing. Remember how she created it. This is Devi Kushmanda. And if you are quiet, even in your darkest times, this Devi is smiling. That is how people recover from mental illness, depression. We think, oh, the psychologist helped us, Shunya ji helped us, my Guruji helped us, Acharya helped us. You helped yourself. Your goddess within you is always smiling. Rejoin that smile. That's why when you see those little babies, those little pudgy babies, and everybody, even though they're lying in royal poop, they're lying in poop, they're smelling, but they're smiling, and you just want to pick them up because they are the living representatives of Devi Kushmanda. And guess who else is the representative of Devi Kushmanda then? Anybody who is genuinely smiling at you in your moment, and even has a laughter with you. I remember yesterday, I and my life partner, we were laughing like kids, remembering something from our childhoods, because our fathers were friends and we are from the same city, Ayodhya. So we were laughing, and it was goofy, and it was like, now I've forgotten, right? When you laugh on goofy things, you forget why you laugh because it's so silly. And we laughed and laughed. And I remembered, this is Devi. A house full of laughter. A house where you can laugh on silly things. This is Devi. And remember, this is the relationship where I didn't see the Devi in him. So let's not start thinking how lucky she is. Oh no. I increase my luck by connecting to Devi within and then seeing her in him. And being grateful for Devi Kushmanda in the laughter. When my students come over, they laugh, they chat, they bring their children, sometimes they bring their pets. There is laughter, there is happiness, and such are the homes filled with Devi Kushmanda. Then you go home and you want to clean your home, you want to write a new blog, you want to do things that are happy. I remember when my sister, she's no more, she's with Mother Goddess now, but when she would visit from her home, she was married and she had moved away, she would sing all these Devi mantras. She was a big devotee of Devi. And she would sing and she would smile and she would be happy. And just hearing her, I'd want to clean my room. Just that energy. So if you have a happy person, a cheerful person in your life, be grateful to them. Don't look down upon them. If you have any such energy, give it back, recognize it, and when you are meditating, smile in your fourth chakra. In the fifth chakra, Durga, in the fourth, we have entered the realm of Lakshmi, and she wants to bless you with creativity, with happiness, with bliss, and you smile. See, Lakshmi is an exponentializing factor. So you smile, she increases your smiles. That's the thing. You smile. You just make one effort. Smile. And I'm not saying fake smile. Say, Ma, it's difficult to smile, but I'll smile based on your energy. My ego can't smile right now. I'll smile. You smile, you'll find 10 people smiling for you. Then you have now your 11 smiles. It just goes, goes, goes. This is a very big strength. Don't underestimate it. Devi Kushmanda is very special, Lakshmi Devi. Now in the fifth chakra, we have Devi Skandmata. Skandmata is a form of Divine Mother when she was mother of goddess Ganesha and his brother Kartikeya. So she's a Divine Mother. And I saw these images growing up of Devi sitting on her lion with her babies, divine babies. And she became a huge symbol for me. In fact, she is my biggest role model because I am what is known as a full-time working mom. I may not be working for a salary, but I have work to do in the universe. I am working, working, working. I don't have the, so it takes me away. I travel, I tour, I give lectures. I'm away at when I'm teaching, I'm with my students. And I had a biological son. I've had always, dogs in my life. I have these home stuff, this grihastha stuff also. Like, somebody has to pick the child from school. Father is at work. So who's going to pick the child? So all these things were also there. My students never heard of it. My students, did you ever hear me say, oh, now I have to do this and I didn't wash the dishes and my sons, I never. At the same time, my son blossomed, my dogs lived healthy lives until they were not, and then they had to leave the body. But I learned all this from Skandmata because she is protecting the whole universe while riding her lion. Like, who goes to work on a lion, right? That means her power is on. She's totally powerful. And with one hand, she's protecting the universe, and with the other hand, she's nurturing her baby. Now, this doesn't mean multitasking, because that's what some of us would say, oh, good, it's divine to multitask. What it really meant was one lesson I got was she did not think that she was any less, because she didn't feel like she was sacrificing on either end. She felt she was divine mother while looking after 2 little young ones, and she was divine mother when she was looking after all of us. So one is she accepted all her roles, her mundane role that we don't even know about, how she raised Ganesha, how she changed his nappies, we don't know. She took care of it. But how do we all get to change our nappies? We know. It means our emotional nappies, I'm talking about. Our trauma nappies, our sorrow nappies, our delusion nappies, our forgetfulness nappies. Mother takes us through it. So therefore, one is like, then that gave me, even as I came into this lineage, because our lineage is not a monastic lineage. Most Vedic lineages are householder lineages, grahastha lineages. Our rishis, our seers were also married, or they had love interests. And they were both men and women. Vedas have been written both by men and women. So they were all very busy spiritual people. They were leaders. They were going to spiritual conferences 10,000 years ago in the Himalayas. And they had families, and they had cows, and they had horses, and they had dogs and cats. So how were they doing it? Because they don't seem to be stressed. They were doing it because she never forgot she's a goddess. And so she is in touch with much more infinite Shakti. If you go to work feeling like, oh God, my children are being neglected, if you take care of your children and you think your work is neglected, you are creating artificial psychological self-oppression. But when you remember Skandmata on the lion with her, divine babies, when they were babies, they were babies. But when they grew, she did such a great parenting that they became independent forces of divinity and protection. I mean, my other great teaching that I'd like to offer down the road is on Lord Ganesha, the obstacle remover. So it's like, wow, if she can do that, I can do that. So I would be having this huge satsang, and so many people would be there, and I'd be talking about deep topics of soul and transmigration, and I was like, up 2 o'clock, gotta go pick up my son, see you. I'm done. It was beautiful. I and my partner, I don't remember if we have ever fed our child fast food, TV tray food. We've always cooked fresh, because there is 24 hours. We have enough time to do everything. Physical, mental, spiritual, amazing stuff. As long as our mind is in flow and acceptance, we lose so much time lamenting, being irritated, being confused, and wanting things to go away. Even in this process, I've had my husband's family visit, my own family visit. When people come to a different country and they spend thousands of dollars, they have extended trips with you. And I felt like, oh yeah, that's my other role, my other divine role. And I get to enjoy my sister-in-law now, or I get to enjoy my nephew visiting, or I get to enjoy my husband's mom visiting. And so I could string my divine goddess dimension through all these roles. And this is what I love about her. And when you're a goddess, you are not split, and you're 100% with each role. And if you're 100%, I'm 100% mother, 100% gardener, I'm 100% chef, I'm 100% spiritual teacher, I'm 100% citizen of this universe, I'm 500% dimensional being. And there's no stress here, because I'm not being a perfectionist, because that's what the ego does. I'm being soulful, I'm being present, I'm being genuine. Yeah, that helps. So this is where The fifth chakra is now about communication. And you go, well, why is communication to do with mothering? Well, let me tell you that their speech is the first thing that enters other people. You might have good thoughts about them, but if you don't have goddess speech, you are not enabling goddess powers within you. So when you remember Skandmata, let your speech be nurturing. Apart from one day or one moment when you need to channel Chandraghanta. But otherwise, right? Or you are in Brahmacharini and you're in silent mode. But in day-to-day interaction, let this very confident, self-assured mother who can play many roles channel through you. How do you like that? Does that make sense to you why communication and Divine Mother as a mother would take importance? So when I look at a student and I'm counseling them or I'm teaching satsang, I'm using my fifth chakra. So I'm thinking, may my speech give a new birth to you. May my speech regenerate your inner child. May my speech guide you. Even if I scold you, may it be as a mother, so that you don't feel so broken that you can never pick yourself up. But you see where you need to make corrections, because that is what a mother does. So this is why we can really, if you have communication challenges, if you have, even if you have any ill health in these chakras, you can remember these Devis, like throat cancer or throat, loss of voice. Try to remember Devi Skandmata. Also, if you have lost your mother due to death, recently lost her or lost her early, you miss her anyway. If you have issues with your current mother, where, she's having Alzheimer's or schizophrenia and she can't be present for you, or some other mental disease, or she's outright, unavailable because of being so estranged from her own goddesshood, then let Divine Mother fill your gaps. So this is another way of Skandamata saying, Mother, heal my inner child, take care of me. So when my mother passed away when I was 10, Baba reminded me that Divine Mother is still there for you, and your mother has gone to live with Divine Mother. So for me, Divine Mother was my biological mother too. She's my emotional mother, she's my spiritual mother, and she has really helped me hone my communication. You ask my father if you meet him, some of you have met him, and once he had said so in a public satsang. She has changed a lot. She's very different from how she used to be in his, typical way as a dad from India. And the students were very curious. And of course, because I didn't know my goddess powers, and I was not working from that. So now when your dad says, she's changed, for the better, that's a good thing. That's not something to be shy about, because we are not coming from this theory that you have to be born perfect and somehow you have to be like, and then your father has to come and tell a lie like, when I saw her in the crib, she had a halo there. It's like, oh no. Little Shunya had no halo, and grown-up Shunya has no halo. Everybody has a halo, and we just have to connect with that invisible halo and be protected from that. That's my message to you. Moving on to the sixth chakra, Devi Saraswati comes riding a donkey. Her hair is very unkept. She is smeared with such darkness. It's the darkness of the darkest darkness of the darkest dark hole. It's dark like dark, like dark, like dark, like dark. Because she's absorbing every false light. She will not allow any false light. She will only allow the original light, which is within you. So it's very symbolic. This Devi is not a punisher. She's not a destroyer. She wants to give knowledge. But she doesn't want you to think that everything shining is gold. You know how we go after the false guru, false teaching, or false attitude where we think we've realized ourselves. So she goes, let's get real, shall we? Remove all the makeup. Let's remove all the makeup. Let's take off all the fun clothes. Let's take off all the malas and everything that make us think we're realized. Let's be real. And real And so she kind of has this like distorted look, and the reality is kind of making you meet some edgy parts of you. It makes you meet the distortions of what you have thought and what could be, you know. Do you see my point? Like first you met a person and you thought they're perfect. Then you thought they're totally imperfect. But reality is somewhere in between. They are partly perfect, they are partly crazy, they are partly divine, they are partly schizophrenic, right? So it's like, what do you meet is this jarred, strange thing. So she's like riding on your crown chakra, and sometimes it is a disappointment because you think that the crown chakra Devi would be just splendid, and there she comes riding this donkey. It's like, yeah, gotcha. That's why awakening process can be a bit distressing. It can be like, you know, a lot of your favorite beliefs and your favorite myths about life break down. What you thought you could trust, you couldn't trust, right? So say you've had betrayal. I mean, anybody? Everybody, yeah? So say you've had betrayal. Why did you have that betrayal? So that you can learn to trust yourself. So that you stop, you know, outsourcing your power, your decision making, and you learn to trust yourself. So therefore, everything that's happening is happening. And so when she comes on a donkey, it's really a celebration of, it didn't have to be so perfect the way we had thought at age 20. It can look like this, and it is Divine Mother. It's crazy, it's smelly, it's a little dark, things are cluttered, there are a couple of court case things going on, and this is going on, and that's going on, and my crown chakra is a Leomans. Hello, true spirituality. I never understood why she looks like that, and people are like praying to her, praying to her, praying to her. What are we praying? What is the lesson? The lesson is this, that the goddess is living in the dark stuff too. She's living in the deception too. She's living in the backstabbing too. She's living in the betrayals too. And each of them is strengthening you, moving you. But when we don't know the goddess, we're like taking medicines and antidepressants, we're becoming more bitter, we become angry, we become gossiping mongers. But when we understand that Devi instrumented it, then we say, Devi, what do I get? Then you can milk this whole situation and come to a whole new light and a whole new strength. This is Devi of the seventh chakra. The 1,000-petaled chakra is emerging from your collapse. It is emerging from your sorrow. It is emerging from your efforts. Because she is blessing you. But when you have her, it's like you are wounded, but you're not bleeding. Your back is broken, but your spine is erect. People shamed you, but you've become the most famous person now. You know, do you see that? And I don't know, if you look at Jesus Christ's life, if you look at Buddha's life, where his own brother and some students conspired to kill him. I mean, which if you look at Amachi, where her own childhood she was disturbed, if you look at, any famous teacher that you've heard of, you will find that their awakening happened through the darkness corridor. But because they had sat on their mountain, they never really got up that mountain, did they? It's not like Jesus said, I think I'm done being Jesus. It's just too hard for me. I can't do this. It's not like Mirabai, the singing saint who loved Krishna, said, you know what, I think I'm just going to, love the king with whom I was married to. Even though he's trying to kill him, after all, he's my Swami, my husband, my soulmate. I'll just put up with the abuse. Oh no, they stayed on their mountain, beginning with the root chakra. And through that darkness, they get delivered. And then we are in the 8th chakra. and the 8th chakra goddess. By the way, we are celebrating her today. A festival is going on of 9 nights, and we are celebrating the 8th goddess today. So you can feel her right now as I talk, just a little above your head. Her chakra is there, and she's only 8-year-old, and she's divinely beautiful. So it's like after all that darkness and fierceness and truth bearing, you become new again. You become rejuvenated. Have you felt that? When you've gone through the dark night of the soul and you come through and you feel like you have more Shakti, more energy, more light. Has that happened to all of you? You're like, and you know, a lot of your clouds and self-doubts are out, and all the villains of the piece have been identified and put aside. All the heroes and the heroines are cheering you on. The villains are like, okay, so long. We were also Divine Mother just telling you which way not to turn, because there is no good or bad ultimately. It's all the Divine Mother, and you realize, oh my God, this was a stage. Everybody is waiting for me to take the next step. And how do I feel taking the next step? It's not heavy. I'm going to hop, skip, and jump because I'm only 8-year-old. It's brand new. I'm going to start again. And an 8-year-old works with intuition more than so much intellectual calibration. They have trust, they surrender, and they enjoy, like, you know, good sweet food. So today's a day to have some, you know, tasty, delicious dessert. And, if you're following an Ayurvedic protocol, then, you know, you follow certain foods. But otherwise, it's a day to delight yourself. You could go to the circus today and celebrate your inner child. And traditionally in India, goddesses, little girls would be invited, and later little girls and boys. In my lineage, it was always girls and boys, and dogs and cats and cows, and we'd all lay them up because we believe Divine Mother lives everywhere. And so I still remember me, my sister, my 2 other sisters, my 3 brothers, cousins, and then our cow, her 2 calves at that time, and a nearby person's buffalo. We all sat in a row, and Baba, my guru, put tikka on us and touched our feet and fed us sweets and said, please bless me. And I remember the cow licking my guru's face, and Baba was like crying throughout, feeling like he had met Devi, Gauri, in those little bodies, innocent bodies. We bring animals and birds because of innocence, because of that trust and flow that we forget as adults, and the newness and the novelty. And every Gauri day, I just forgive myself. I just hug myself. I just love myself. I mean, forgiveness can be in little things also, like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. So it's like a constant, an inner person's life is to constantly take stock. But instead of becoming guilty and sorrowful, we become new, we become relieved. And then in the 9th chakra, we meet Shakti back again. We had started with Shakti splitting up into Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, splitting up into the 8 goddesses, beginning with Shailputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, Kushmanda, Skandmata, Gauri, and now we meet her again as Shakti, that complete package, that complete divine feminine, as Siddhidhatri. Siddhi means one who gives you back miraculous strengths, miraculous gifts, miraculous powers. You become a living miracle. You're in a human body, but you have non-human consciousness. You have divine consciousness. And Siddhidhatri, pretty much, no matter whether you deserve it or don't deserve it, when you ask, she gives. And especially if you have been doing the sadhana of the Devis, on the 9th day, you feel a fulfillment, a contentment, and for some of us, when we get lucky, we get like a little child. After all, we are goddess, our heart's desire. So sometimes I've heard from people that they had been doing the divine sadhana, and then on the 9th day, for a couple of years in a row, an infertile couple asked for a child. all the doctors had given up, saying, you cannot have it, your biology doesn't allow it, your fallopian tubes are blocked, this, that. Well, they conceived. They say that the blind get sight, the lame start walking, the poor enjoy the wealth of this world, and the wealthy enjoy knowledge, and the knowledgeable enjoy self, and the one who is in the self recognize that they are one with the Divine Mother. And they were never really far away. This whole thing was a divine game. A little smile, a little sense of humor, and the right knowledge can take you very, very far. I hope you appreciated and enjoyed and are excited about the path I have shown you. You are most welcome to find my teachings. Nowadays they live on the www world, another virtual world we have created thanks to Mother Goddess. And I have more teachings there for you.